the first relief that he was seeking was a declaration that by reasons of the absence, incomplete, and or questionable nature of the pink sheet. The issue about the pink sheet, some say we have our pink sheet. The EC will say, I do not have the complement. The NPP will say, yes, we also have our issue. Whatever is on our pink sheet is different from whatever is on the EC. A whole lot of. So he is asking the court to look at that for the Nsawam Adreju constituency. In relation to that, he said that the integrity of the parliamentary elections of that particular constituency is undermined. Secondly, he's also seeking a declaration that the Electoral Commission cannot, based on the incomplete or questionable collation forms, whose source is doubtful, declare a winner of the parliamentary election conducted on the 7th of December 2024 for the Nsawam Adreju constituency. Then he's seeking for some orders. An order directed at the Electoral Commission, and the Electoral Commission is the body that organized the election, to organize a fresh parliamentary election for the Nsawam Adreju constituency. So that is one, is an order that he's seeking, and also another order of perpetual injunction restraining the Electoral Commission, their assigns, agents, privies, servants, employees, workmen, and or any other person acting on behalf of the Electoral Commission from collating and declaring the parliamentary election results for the Nsawam Adreju constituency. So on Friday, this one was filed, and you note that at the very grounds, there were a lot of issues. The EC, the lawyers made a point that the EC has been served. Obed was there, that he even spoke to Frank Anodompre, who said that, no, I have not been served and all that. So it's been an interesting day. So I was not surprised when I saw that the EC is saying that some constituencies should be put on hold because of the nature of or incidences that took place there. So in the coming days, this will definitely not be the last time. We'll see more actions in relation to the parliamentary election, especially those areas that we are having a lot of disputes.
A lot of
absolutely
disputes. Yeah. Let's talk about the SSNIT OBS case.
So,
the last time I thought that a final decision would have been made, especially with regards to the former DG's quest for no case.
Yes, submission of no case. And in fact, the court made a ruling. Justice Henry Anthony Kofi gave a ruling on that particular submission of no case. And if you look at the ruling that the court gave, very interesting ruling, Lily. So 29 counts, 5 of them, they were sharing the 29 counts. And if you take Ernest Thompson, a lot. So there is somebody who asks, why so many counts? So they look at the number of times that they felt that a crime has been committed, and then they charge you based. So one thing, the number of times that it repeated itself, you'll be charged under those counts. And some of the counts, conspiracy to cause, willfully cause financial loss, then the substantive charge itself, causing financial loss. Now, prosecution called 10 witnesses, including the general manager for SSNIT, general manager at SSNIT, Management Information System, is the general manager, Mr. Godson Ladzekpo. He's the first of the, he's the one on your screen, as you see. He is the first prosecution witness up to the 10th, who is the investigator who came to the court to testify.
But this case has been running for such a long time.
2018, so it's been a long time now. Now, after the conclusion of the prosecution's case, the court will have to determine, and we have told you that the court has determined the submission of no case and held that out of the 29 counts, Ernest Thompson and the 4 others, some 3, were on 22 of those counts. 20 of them, the court found that there is no prima facie evidence established. So they should be acquitted and discharged. So now, out of the 29, the 22 that Ernest Thompson and the 3 others were involved, it is left with only 2. I mean, in fact, 1 substantive charge, which is willfully causing financial loss to this. And the amount that we are talking about here is in excess of $60 million.
Wow.
Yes, we were told that the information system that state wanted to or procured was around 34 million cedis. But they kept adding, and then reached 60. So that is why they have charged them for causing financial loss, allegedly. Now, that one is off the way. In the ruling of Justice Henry Anthony Kofi, you know, when prosecution charge you, they come to court and they prove their case by way of calling witnesses. So the testimony of the witnesses is what prosecution will use to prove their case. And when Justice Henry Anthony Kofi was ruling on this case, it says that Mr. Godwin Ladzekpo, who was the then acting general manager for Miss, is a dangerous character. That's the man on your screen.
That's quite a strong
The court was emphatic. Said, he is, in the view of the court, the kind of testimony that he came to court to give, and the role that he played is look at somebody who is grinding an axe, self-righteous and holier than thou attitude. That's what the court said. And the court said, he is a dangerous character. In fact, the court, let me use the court right. He's a very dangerous and treacherous character.
Wow.
What does it mean?
Yeah, that's quite strong.
Very, very strong. And for a judge to say this about a witness in court tells you why Justice Henry Anthony Kofi.
But this witness, did this witness work at SSNIT under the then DG?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And at all materials and the evidence before the court, and the reason the court is describing that way was that the issue for which the accused persons were in court, he was involved from day one to the end.
Okay.
But he came to court to portray himself as though he was not part. Whatever decision that was taken, it was the people who took it. But in all the committees that were told, took the decision, he was part, he was involved, and they took a collective decision. But when issues happened, he took himself out to come and testify again. And mind you, when he were in court, when prosecution was giving, calling witnesses, when he came and mounted the witness box and he was giving evidence, the accused persons were laughing throughout.
Really?
Yes, because they felt like, wow, this man is in court to just tell lies. in their body posture. So everything that the man is, you could hear them making some kind of remarks there. But it was not surprising at all when Justice Henry Anthony Kofi held that.
So let me get this straight. This particular, in quotes, treacherous character, was he a witness for the DG and his colleagues, or for the state?
This is a prosecution witness.
Okay.
So he was a witness for the state.
Okay.
So a witness who was helping the state to establish.
And then the
those
court
charges.
finds him dangerous?
Absolutely. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
But in all, one person who was involved, perfect business system, Juliet Hassana Kramer, you know, we were told that her company was used for all these one. And she was charged with defrauding by false pretense. The court said that that particular charge, in the view of the court, is bizarre. Prosecution ought not to have charged her. Because if you look at all the things from day one, it shows that the right things were being followed. The contract that was signed, there was a room that when we get to a certain stage, we can make changes. And all those things were there. It was clear. And there was a certain language that they were using, which, for instance, say we are going home. And that we are going home mean differently in other situations. So all these things came to the fore. But Mr. Ladzekpo came to the court and made himself self-righteous and holier than that attitude. And the court think that that cannot be entertained. So Mr. Ernest Thompson and they were acquitted on a number of them, 20 of the counts. It left with 2, which the court is saying that on the 19th of this month, they will come to court and Ernest Thompson will open his defense. But Madam Hassana Kramer, Juliet Hassana Kramer, has been acquitted and discharged. Okay. So that is what is contained in the full ruling of Justice Henry Anthony Kofi, which, if you go to Star Online, you have the opportunity to read virtually all the over 80 pages of the submission of no case that we are talking about here. So that is in relation to this very case. So the witness who came to the court had issues. But of course, some aspects of the case is still pending, so they will have to, Ernest Thompson and the others will have to be in court to answer to those charges.
And then Martha Ankomah says, I'm not accepting any apology.
I
thought she was okay. Initially, she wanted, she was okay with an out-of-court settlement and apology. What changed?
So Martha Ankomah did not have a problem with settlement because Lilwin came. Initially, Lilwin was not showing up in the court.
Okay.
So the court was going to hear the matter on its own and then make a decision. Now, the last time that the court gave that if he doesn't come to court, the court is going to go ahead to hear the matter. He entered appearance with his lawyers.
Okay.
So they had the matter, they spoke, and the fact that, okay, go and have an out-of-court settlement, come back to court with your terms for the court to adopt as a consent judgment. And one of the first steps is for Lilwin to issue an apology.
Yeah.
And that apology, we saw it on the 7th of November. Lilwin issued an apology. And that apology stated to apologize and retract whatever had been said. Interestingly, on Friday they were in court. And when they were in court, they had it in chambers. In fact, for more than 3 hours, they were there. The judge was with them. At the point, the judge left them to come to open court, deal with some situation, and go back again. Now, this is what happened. What we gather, or what I gathered after, was that Murtala Ankomah realized that that apology does not qualify to be an apology and retraction. So she rejected it. So the intention is that, the indication is that Lilwin definitely will come out with another apology. Definitely will come out with another apology, which will be acceptable to all the parties. Then they look at the monetary value. 5 million Ghana cedis or the defamation sum that Murtala Ankomah is seeking. Now they are having a negotiation, they are having a discussion and all of that to see which one will be acceptable and which one would not be acceptable. But just to remind the people or our viewers on this whole apology that we are talking about, let's go and hear the apology that Lilwin released the day before the last court sitting.
Out of all, Ghana for the fans, Louis Empire fans, for John Cancer fans, create months the national school out of women. Now, who can show via every day? When we say, the Christian Caribbean, to Caribbean, as a man. Ghana said the year and Kabum. So, I didn't come in and I'm not connected. Sabi, from you and home, Mestre, Raya, Akanina, and now any good nimpen for Sabi, Manabum, I'm a door, money, maybe nearby. Mata, I'm a palace, or I'm terrified. Now, Panasam, and I'm sure issued by sunset. Mention I go for when you're bed. Every kind of say the fans say supporting me since day one. Abraham started moving, ABC and day. The stars out of phoning now, so many number assembly and become now young couple of the moon, name for chop like a sea. AC a young nearby, Martha Ankomah. The son said, Monitia and Chibia, and I'm in a seven. Nya made Yaba Matakama, Akasaka be a seven entry. Ah, if his brothers need to fight a dan down, a shimukana, a man green, and only a seven, and the material separate from your soul as official one TikTok 2.2 million, 2.5 million followers. And the Sam say, Monkam na Minyaba Akama, on fact the money and check. Mr. Omsa and Jay or your bar, Bema, Mina Kudu, Edging, Semi, kind of which is Timatam, Rocket, Timatamana, Timijina. I said it, Bema Puma and so bar. Mina Ban went to me and said, the harm, a ya issue. The soon seen and so, Naya would be Namijina, Samri, and Raya, and Abush, and then Penfua, Bedomacho beginning, Namazak. Swine, good joining, and then we have see you are the Yassi United, Alaji, Salamia Kum, and then we are Roya Kaseba, Koswagama, Madame Atamaki, and then James say, out of four, Monkam, na Yempemba, Mata, and Kamacho. Seven, when you appear, Sebi, Mrs. I said, Mr. Missing comforting, Munich, a million bidder, did a first time. I'm wishing to say, a BCD. You should I mean, a couple of Akamendo, Abum, Say, I am a come on, 7 years, man. Racomosi, Timisamucho, and Mano, not Nacoposon can go a Christian, said a Christian in a Sabi, Christopher, Ubifumia, Eva Matom, Ediachi. me say on so fra kuma pam ene nya me so papa mu ene wo do papa mu emfa nche na me dom Mr. Ebisi Tarofo nyina Mr. Mu say thank you.
You know how interesting when somebody insults you and then next minute they are talking as though you are their best friend.
I know, right? So
hold on. When you're insulting her, you didn't know that.
It means there's something at stake. There's something at stake, and I need to soften your heart so that we'll have a way to
now
declare.
I understand why Martha says she's not accepting.
Absolutely. Why?
If I were in her shoes, I would not accept.
Why?
This.
What have you?
It doesn't show any remorse.
You didn't see a remorse in there.
Yeah, it just.
But some people naturally way they are.
Just do it for the cameras and then let's not
let matters go. So that is the apology that Ankomah is rejecting because she feels that we don't have the element of apology and retraction in that. But Lilwin and his camp are also of the considered view that they have made a very long apology, and this is an excerpt that the media is only playing. Please. But what we saw, nothing has been doctored. It is from Lilwin and his apology that Ankomah is saying no. So we should expect another apology from...
On this score, I agree with Martha, please.
If they are taking a different stand, I would have been surprised.
I know, right? Please, I am a feminist.
So that is what happened in relation to this one. So February 25, they will be back in court, and they will know whether they have been able to reach an agreement in relation to all that is involved in relation to this case. The judge has given them enough time to be able to settle the matter out of court. So 25th of February, next year, 2025, Ankomah and then Lilwin will be in court. Friday, both of them were in court in relation to this very matter.
Let's look at some of the cases coming up today. I'm sure a lot of Ghanaians are wondering where our supposed train went to. What's up with that case?
Yes, Tema Mpakadan, the video on your screen is reminding you about this, and that's what we're doing here. All the cases that you thought that are missing, we'll bring them to the fore, we'll bring them to bear, we'll highlight on all of them. So the accused persons are those you see on your screen, the four. Remember that the driver in this matter has already been convicted and sentenced to 6 months in prison by the circuit court sometime in the Eastern region earlier.
That was quite a very swift judgment. But
so
who are we to
So one of the
judge?
things that people
who are we to judge the judge?
mostly people do not understand it. If somebody is charged for an offense and the person is arraigned for the first time and the person says, I am guilty, case closed. If the person says that I am guilty of the offense charge, case closed, that day, you have your punishment, except on a few occasions that the court will say that, okay, I want to look at certain things. I want some few things, especially when you're a lady. The court will want to conduct a pregnancy test and all that. If the court is minded to give you a custodial sentence, and then they will remand you for sentencing. But in this case, he went to court, admitted, and the court said, okay, once you have admitted, there's no time to waste. 6 months, go and come. And there are instances like that. But those who plead not guilty, then it means they have to adjourn.
6 months. Was this not in April? Somewhere April, May?
Yeah, absolutely. I think within that April. The incident happened in April. And then he was charged before, I think, the following month or so. So very closely. He's almost back. Maybe you have time to celebrate Christmas. 6 months in court terms has its own meaning and all that. So that's what I'm sure that should be getting closer to coming back in relation to this very case. So this case, the four have been charged as accomplices, and they are before the High Court. And today it will come out before. Initially, Justice Lydia Osemafo is the one handling Lily's favorite charge. Yes. Or that one handling this case. But because of elevation and the fact that the trial has not started.
I need to visit her before Christmas.
One of these days you have to visit her court, and you know that. There are a few cases that it's left for her to handle at the High Court, after which she will fully be at the Court of Appeal, except when there's a case that the Chief Justice wants her to handle at the High Court. There are a lot of judges or justices at the Court of Appeal, Supreme Court, who are assigned to deal with cases at the High Court. They look at the magnitude of the case and the experience that ought to be used to handle the case, and then they assign a lot. So the Tema Mpakadan case is coming up today. So these and many more will bring you filler.
Fila. We'll bring you more Fila later on,
Absolutely.
especially at 11:30 a.m. here on Newsroom on the News Belt. That's Captain Murtala Inusah. All rise. Court has ended.